Calling Saints Row 4 a silly game is like calling Doom Eternal a bit violent. Volition's final entry into their used-to-be-like GTA but not anymore franchise came out a whole 7 years ago, and I have to wonder if the reason they haven't followed it up is that they just created something they simply can't top. This third-person actioner simply begins with your character, the boss, elevated from gang leader to actual commander-in-chief of the United States. Between deciding to either cure cancer or solve world hunger, leading counter-terrorist missions, and punching snarky senators in the bell end, you have a pretty full schedule. Having promoted all of your gang members to prominent positions in the administration, you're the king or queen of the castle, and despite your waning popularity, you're pretty confident of walking away with an election day win. The confidence is almost a theme running through the whole game, as Volition hold absolutely nothing back from the first moment to the final explosion. With barely a hint of prologue and zero foreshadowing, aliens of the Zin Empire descend on Earth, kidnapping your staff and friends before blowing up the planet and dumping you in a VR simulation of a quaint 1950s town. Before long, though, you're working with your ever-loyal tech genius Kinsey, who has escaped the enemy's clutches and hacked the simulation to give you powers that wouldn't seem out of place in the Matrix. While there are missions set in the real world, aboard the alien mothership that let you do little but shoot bad guys, the bulk of the 20-hour-plus campaign is spent inside the VR sim of the city of Steelport. In here, it doesn't take long to become a veritable god, as you unlock new powers and weapons at a deliberately swift pace. You're soon leaping buildings and tossing cars around, and you're playing Crackdown but with much better writing, and the more you unlock, the more fun it gets. In fact, almost all of Saints Row 4 Re-Elected seems to have been created in the service of fun. The boss is written with such a perfect mixture of insurmountable self-confidence and dry humour that he or she is able to bounce off every other character effortlessly. I say he or she, but for me, Laura Bailey does such a fantastic job of the default female president that, as with Jennifer Hale's Commander Shepard, the other option doesn't just quite cut it for me. But you don't have to pick the default, of course, and all options, races and colours, literally by the way you can be any colour, even bright blue, they're all viable. Even once you're in the game, you can alter every aspect of your character at various outlets, because why the hell not? Primarily, your goal is to destabilise the simulation to free your friends and overthrow the Zin, but that doesn't mean you can't mess around with the mini-games and side missions along the way, and insurance fraud is still some of the most ridiculously fun time wasters ever devised. To be honest, no one will blame you for just driving around Steelport with a radio on just to sample the incredible soundtrack. There are faults, of course, but none are a result of the Switch port. The Re-Elected edition fixed many of the original issues when Volition brought Saints Row 4 to the current generation, and that's the version you're getting here. It can be janky and buggy at times, and the weapon wheel being mapped to the A button is just plain strange. But there's so much going on and it's all so much fun you probably won't care. If anything, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected may suffer in the eyes of some simply because its comedy and themes feel like they're from a game that was as close to the knuckle even 7 years ago. Its humour is often puerile, willfully offensive and certainly vulgar, but it's also weirdly earnest now that it has finally stopped trying to ape other games. After all, Saints Row 4 was the release that finally allowed Volition to get out from under Rockstar's shadow, even if it was eclipsed less than 2 months later by the behemoth that was GTA 5. This edition plays and looks the same as the PS4 or Xbox One version, and while I wouldn't call it essential necessarily, it's absolutely worth a look for anyone who likes their fun to be big, loud, and just a little bit irreverent. Hi, Adam here. Hope you enjoyed listening to me read Mick's review of Saints Row 4 on Nintendo Switch. We love bringing you these Switch reports, we love bringing you reviews and everything else, and if you hit the subscribe button, you won't miss a video, especially that is if you hit the bell button to be notified in your chosen app. If you'd like to leave a thumbs up because you did enjoy it, or leave a comment and tell us what you think of Saints Row 4, maybe you think it's better than the GTA series, shh, don't tell anyone else you said that. Apart from in the comments. And hey, if you want to follow us at GodIsAGeek on Twitter, we'd really appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you in the next video real soon. Bye for now.